And yet again, we are back. Welcome to the live post-game episode of the Post Podium Podcast. Man, this is the home of the all truth, no sodium takes.
The only good thing about this is we're starting on time for once. I said 5:45. Look at it. It's 5:44. Sue me. We started a minute early.
Right. If not on time, we early. That's the way to go, man.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative because we here and we able to do the show. But this gonna be a hard one to get through, man. What you and I are about to do is we're about to make it so much easier for everybody to get through the rest of the week.
You gonna watch me cry?
Huh?
Cause they gonna watch me cry.
Well, that and you know they gonna listen to me and probably watch me do some things that they want to do but probably can't.
Okay. It's illegal in 60. What? In 6 states? What's going on?
No, I'm not gonna be public enemy number one.
Okay. Just making sure. I don't want to be implicated on anything. I gotta go to work tonight.
Mafia enemy number one after this, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. With that being said, welcome back to the show. You already know what time it is. I'm your co-host, Aramis.
I just told him it was 5:45, but it's key.
All right, so check it out. There's a lot to get to. There's a lot to get to, and I will address why the jersey's on the table a little bit later in the show. You want to just start off with stuff we heard, or you just want to go right into it?
No, I ain't got no. The stuff I heard is probably gonna have to do with the team anyway. So let's go. Let's just go. I don't even. There's no structure. Today is my man. I'm coming at you raw and naked.
Okay, so let's start the show with
unlotioned. Yeah, that's how raw this is gonna be.
That sounds chafy.
It's real chafy.
Oh man,
real chafy.
All right. So check it out. I did a little bit of research, as I usually do, and I came to the conclusion that Sean McDermott is getting preferential treatment from Terry Pegula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Why can I say that? How is this still playing?
I was wondering. I was like, "Where's he going with this?"
I didn't tell the music to do
saying, "I'm gonna let it rock." You were going in.
Whatever. We'll see if it cuts off after this minute. Anyway, this haunted live episode of the anyway. So interesting stat. Since Terry Pegula bought the team in 2014, we have had 3 head coaches.
Yes.
Can you name them?
Let's see. Sean McDermott.
That's one.
Rex Ryan.
I'm sorry. No. Sean, not including Sean McDermott.
Not including. 3 head coaches, not including.
3 head coaches, not including Sean McDermott.
Okay, we got Rex Ryan. Marone left when Ralph died.
That's 2. He counts.
Oh, he counts?
He counts.
Okay, let's see. It was
This is kind of a trick. This is kind of a trick.
It's an interim guy, but who is it?
Anthony Lynn. You're absolutely right. Anthony Lynn served as
Went
interim once Rex got fired. Okay, now, here's the interesting part about that. Rex and Doug Marone have the exact same win-loss record in their entire tenure as head coach here with the Buffalo Bills. Rex Ryan's is actually a little bit shorter, because he was fired during the season. Mm-hmm. But Marone and Rex have the exact same win-loss record. You know what it is?
No.
15 and 17.
15 to 17. Okay, just below 500.
Correct. Okay. Sean McDermott's first 2 years in Buffalo as head coach.
15 and 17?
15 and 17.
You kidding?
I'm not playing.
Wow.
15 and 17. If you take away Dayball's offense from this team, and I'm including last year because the whole reason that Dorsey was hired in the first place was to keep continuity with that offense, correct? So if you take Dayball's offense away from this team, Sean McDermott is 19 and 20 as a Buffalo Bills head coach. And that includes his record this year, which is above 500. Okay? The fact that Sean McDermott lived past 2 years is solely because of Brian Daboll. Because let's be honest, Sean fired his offensive coordinator after year 1.
Yep.
Okay? Year 2, is that when they hired Dayball, and it was So they hired Dayball the next year.
Josh's first year.
Right. That year they go 6-10. Then Dayball gets an offseason with Josh. All of a sudden he comes back a brand new dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then from that point on, the story is written. Josh Allen is a beast. This Bills offense is nothing to play with. It's on and popping from there for Bills, Bills supporters. Right? Bills Nation. So what this tells me is that the relationship between Sean McDermott and Terry Pegula is much different than it was with Rex Ryan and Doug Marrone, right? You had Doug Marrone, who, everybody thought was kind of, arrogant, a little, kind of looked down his nose at people. That was the knock on him, right? Serious guy, disciplinary guy. So Terry Pegula hears all that noise. He goes, okay, I'm going to get somebody a little bit more poppy, a little bit more light, a player's coach. Mm-hmm. He goes and gets Rex Ryan. Yep. All of a sudden, the city hates him because he's too much of a clown. He caters to the players too much. He's not enough of a disciplinarian.
Right.
So
I would like to go laser tagging with him that time, remember? When he first came, you had the team go laser tag.
Yeah.
That was fun. I wish I was there.
Me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. But it started to look like Terry Pegula really was concerned with getting it right with the fans, because the moves that he made against, or I should say with the criticisms on the guys that he got rid of, the next move he made was something completely different, if not the exact opposite.
Yep.
Right? So here he is again. We didn't like the clown. And before the clown, we didn't like the super serious look down his nose dude at you.
Mm-hmm.
Or look down his nose at you dude. Correcting my own English. So then we go right back to mostly serious. Sean.
Yeah,
Sean is not look down his nose at you.
It's still an act. I mean, this is
right,
BS.
Right. So ultimately, what this really boils down to, and I'm sorry if this kind of makes the situation worse, but Sean McDermott is getting preferential treatment from the owner, because there's no way you can explain as an owner that you cap off two guys who have gone 15-17 in 2 years. They only had 2 years to get it right. Now, mind you, Doug Marrone quit. Okay, fine. Rex didn't even have a full 2 years. And he was 15-17. Right? Anthony Lynn comes in, does a much better job than Rex, can't even keep the job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same year that he went and got the job in
the Chargers,
San Diego.
Yep. I didn't know where they were at the time, so I was just gonna say Chargers.
Right.
I don't know where these people are anymore.
But what this does for me, what this stat does for me, is it takes some of the attention away from Sean and it points it at the owner, and it says, what are you really doing? Are you really concerned now with the state of the people who are paying the bills? Are you really concerned with what we desire as team supporters? Right? Because without us, you don't have a product. But for some reason, this city doesn't think that it has enough power to do something like that, to force a move like that. Mm-hmm. It's scared to death to lose the team to begin with.
Yeah.
Right? But let's be honest. Any one of these cities could lose a team if the NFL wanted it to happen.
Sure.
That's just the bottom line.
Sure.
Any one of them. And there's like 7 teams that are in smaller markets that could get moved at any point in time. So
the Bills are probably the safest one out of all of them, honestly, because we're the only ones in the state.
Exactly. So and we have enough support from Canadians. So they don't want to lose that connection. Right. So we're not going anywhere. Mm-mm. Okay? So with all of that in mind, can we please, as Bills Nation, and I'll even include Bills Mafia, can we come together on this and decide that we're going to boo the right people? Can we stop trying to put the onus on Ken Dorsey? He's not good to begin with, but he shouldn't have been hired. So in my mind, that's not even his fault. He was put in a position to fail to begin with.
I like that. All right, I'm acquiescing because I like that.
Okay. But when it comes to Sean McDermott, the one thing that and I'm kind of like passing it off to you on this because I've made my point.
Okay.
But when it comes to Sean McDermott, this talk about complimentary football. I know we kind of
Mike, so cover your ears, please.
yeah. Like I wish I could take the words and just wipe my behind with them.
Does anybody really know what it even means? I mean, we know what it's supposed to be, but what is it's a cop-out.
We know what he means by it.
It's a cop out.
Well, it's not solely that. It's more of a way of saying we need to play the way that I envision the game being played. Because that's really what this boils down to. We talked about before about his micromanagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? He said in the press conference, in the post. I think this was today. Today or yesterday.
I didn't even listen to today. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go to yesterday.
He said he oversees all three phases.
Yeah, he said it yesterday after the game.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you oversee all three phases and special teams is an issue,
mm-hmm.
offense is an issue,
mm-hmm.
defense is an issue,
mm-hmm.
why are offensive coordinators being talked about being fired? Why did special teams coordinators get fired last year? Why did secondary coach or whoever, like all these different positional coaches have left the team or been fired as a result of decisions that you, the head coach, made, right? One of the first things that Sean said after the 13 seconds game was there was a miscommunication. Between who?
Himself and himself. No, between him and his DC, I think. It's got to be him and the DC.
But he oversees all three phases.
Right.
To my knowledge, he's always operated this way.
But this is funny because you think about what we talked about last time where he said that he's got his head down. He's not looking at the offense. Sometimes he's not looking. So which is it? I mean, you keep double talking. You keep you keep it up. I mean, people don't see through it. But they're starting to see. You listen to the radio these days.
Oh yeah, they
look
want
at podcasts.
Now.
I mean, some people are going ham.
Yeah.
The same people that weren't are going ham.
I love it.
I know you do.
I love every second of it.
I don't mind it, but it's the fact that when people ask me, what does it take to get Devontae Adams? What does it take to get? I can tell you, but it's not going to happen. So I'm not even going to worry about it.
Right.
I'm not worried about them firing Dorsey because it's not going to happen. Well, he's a scapegoat,
yeah.
so he's not going to get fired.
If you want Dorsey fired, wait till the end of the season.
Exactly, because he's not going to get rid of any scapegoats, mid-season.
Nope.
He don't want the blame on himself.
Exactly.
He don't want people to look at him.
Yep.
He knows if he gets rid of Dorsey, it's all on me. As he always says, it's on me.
Well, any fire, and this is the other thing too. It might be a case at the end of the season where Dorsey doesn't get fired. Because if he fires Dorsey, what is he going to say? I had to fire the guy that I put in office in the first place?
I had to look Josh in the face and tell him your decision wasn't good enough.
Speaking of that, my source.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Josh is not happy with this offense.
You can tell. And I'm glad. I'm so happy with this.
Me too.
Because I told you this before this even happened.
Yep.
I told you this after Dabo left. Do not do this for continuity.
Yep.
Do not do this because you know the guy. That's BS. A Super Bowl window.
Well, it's more so the 12 formation stuff.
Well,
like he's
that too.
Not happy with that stuff.
But that too. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, you wanted the guy because you're consistent
Dorsey?
with him.
Yeah,
Dorsey. You wanted Dorsey because you're consistent with him. You want him because you know him. You're familiar. You guys have a rapport.
Yep.
How's that working out for you?
Especially when you don't keep continuity.
Right.
Like,
from day one, there wasn't no continuity.
So here's the other thing. You know who is happy with this offense?
Who?
Diggs.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I mean,
I laughed when I heard that. You know why? Because his target share is vastly far and above and beyond anybody else on this team.
Yeah.
Like in the game yesterday, Kincaid was second in targets with 8.
Yeah, and Diggs had like 12. Yeah.
Right? Davis had 5. 1 catch for 6 yards.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response.
What, Davis?
Davis with 5.
5 targets.
All right,
this is supposed to be your number 2 receiver.
We gonna get into the nuts and bolts of this. I can feel it brewing. It's brewing inside, man. You about to wait the Kraken.
You give the captaincy to a guy who gets 5 targets and only catches 1 ball. a guy you cannot trust to catch the ball on a regular down, but will probably make a big catch when it doesn't matter.
A guy that only runs 4 routes.
Say it again.
A guy that only runs 4 routes.
Exactly.
A guy that only runs 4 routes is somebody that you're gonna look up to as a captain's circle.
That's the guy you want to re-sign.
This guy doesn't even
for probably $14 million.
He doesn't belong on the field, let alone a captain.
Trent Sherfield was the number 3 receiver on the Dolphins last year. Number 3.
Yep.
Okay? He can't even get on the field for this team. Nyheim Hines was the number 2 running back in Indianapolis. He couldn't even get on the field. Hardy was the playmaker when the team needed a pop play in New Orleans.
And you can see
he can't even get on the field.
That play yesterday was a microcosm of what he can do.
Bro, you know what makes it worse? Sean McDermott, when he was asked this morning about Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, he's definitely a weapon. You know, he's still young. What?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares how old the dude is?
McDermott. Look at his drafts. All his guys are seniors. Kyer Elam was a surprise because they're all upperclassmen. All of his guys. There's no young superstar level college player on his team.
What is this issue with young guys?
He wants somebody that's been through. He wants somebody that's proven to be what they are.
No, he wants down home family men.
No. What it really is, he doesn't play in the stock market. He doesn't play. He doesn't bet. He doesn't. He wants to see what you are before he takes you. He doesn't want to take you on your potential. What happens is you get what's the guy from Ohio State, Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah.
You think he would take him? I mean, now, no, still wouldn't take him. I bet, still wouldn't take him because somebody else is higher on the board, some senior. Some 3-year letter winner, some captain that was somewhere. That would be who he wants.
Letter winner.
He don't want the talent. He wants somebody that's done it for years and years and years. And he wants that guy to be
regardless if they were good or not.
Regardless if they're good or not. You just have to do it for years and years and years.
Right.
I mean, me and you argue for years about it. And I'm going to say it. I don't want to piss you off, but this is the point. We argued about Levi Wallace and how bad he was. I said he wasn't. You said he was. Look what they're doing with our number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
Look what they're doing, Dane.
They're making him look just as bad.
The same. Yeah. They're making them all do the same garbage.
So it really wasn't the player. It was the coach.
It was the coach. It was the coach. And the thing is, this is the stuff that keeps going. Let's replace this person. Let's replace that guy. Guess what? Bring Devontae Adams in here.
Yo, I saw something on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And folks are really talking about the problem is not Sean, it's Josh. How in the let's just I want to shut that down right here right now. If you are a player, you cannot do anything on the field until what? You get the play, right? Where does the play come from? The coach. Who determines whether or not you go on the field? The coach. On this team, who determines if you get drafted? The head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens on the team that is not sanctioned by the head coach. And regardless of what you want to say about that Jets game and the whole pointing to the head and be smart about Josh and all that kind of stuff, that is the Josh that has gotten us to AFC championships, got us through to all the way to 13 seconds left in that divisional game, that has gotten us the success that we have. If you are not happy with what Josh is, then just stop being a Bills fan, because honestly, he's the best quarterback that we've had ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's already above Josh Kelly.
Jim
Kelly.
You already forgot his first name. He's the afterthought.
Right.
He's an afterthought.
Right. He's already above him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll give you an example how great Josh is. In 2-minute situations, Dorsey's not calling the plays. It's Josh. Right? We didn't start scoring touchdowns until 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Correct? In that 7 minutes, we were running 2-minute. We scored 2 touchdowns in that time period and a 2-point conversion. So you tell me who's nice and who's not. If Josh is calling those plays, we go down, we score 2 touchdowns. If Stephon Diggs makes that catch at the end of the game, we're talking about a real shot at a touchdown. A real shot at a touchdown. All because of Josh. Okay? Now, all of this is in spite of Sean McDermott doing everything he can to give the Patriots that game. He coached tight. He coached scared to lose, like he does in the playoffs every single year. Let me tell you what's going on. This season, Sean McDermott has made it a point to start coaching this team during the regular season the same way he coaches in the playoffs. Go back and watch the games.
Don't even have to. I mean, I don't even have to go that far. I mean, like I said, if the proof's in the pudding. Look at the splits. We can pull them up right here. I have it for you.
Can't make it up.
I mean, you look at the first 4 games. What do you want to do in quarters? We'll say. So, where are we? The first 4 games, we were 3-1. We were 74% completion percentage for Josh Allen, 1,000 yards, 1,048 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. We're 1-2 at this point in time in the second quarter, and we dropped to 65% completions. Let's see, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and we still got 1 game to go. He got sacked 9 times in the first quarter, but to our 1. It's just hard. I mean, I can't say. I think this is where divide, because I definitely don't think it's all Josh, I definitely don't think it's all Josh. I don't think it's all Dorsey. I think it's a combination, because there are plays to be made that Josh just isn't making.
Yeah, I openly admit that. I've said that before, but I also think with Daboll's offense, you didn't see as much of that when Josh was in that offense versus where he's at now. And I think that's my primary point in this entire situation, is that we're bagging on the player who has been put in a significantly worse position from a capability standpoint with regard to this offense. This offense has been handcuffed. Our quarterback has been handcuffed, right? All those plays that Josh is trying to scramble to the right or scramble to the left and find a guy open, and he's not finding a guy open now, those would have been plays that he would have decided to try and run for 4, run for 5, run for 17.
Well, I mean, he really needs to start doing it.
Well, he's being coached not to, though.
I don't really care. This is your team. This is your team.
I agree.
And after a while, you got to, if you say he hates the offense, do what you like. This whole crap about this shotgun versus not shotgun, he needs to be better. He's better in the shotgun. He's better in the shotgun. I mean, you look at his numbers. He's got 168 attempts, 118 completions for 70%. He threw for 1,019 yards and 9 touchdowns. Under center, 56 completions, 71%, and 6 touchdowns. It's not that different. If the guy likes shotgun, put him in a freaking shotgun.
Yeah, but this season, the only time he's under center is when they're doing play action.
If he likes shotgun, put him in a shotgun.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Everybody, I want play action. No. If he's comfortable and he's making plays and it's not that much of a difference, put him where he wants to make plays at.
Right.
I don't want to hear no more of this BS 12. And I wrote it in my notes too. I wrote this in my notes, and I'm fiddling with my phone cord, but forget that. Go back to the 11. Dawson Knox is a TE2.
Right.
He's a tight end too. I don't want to hear how he should be cut. I don't want to hear how he doesn't belong on the team, because he's our best tight end blocker. He can catch sometimes, but he's a number 2. He doesn't need to be on the field the whole time. And now he's out because I just found out he's getting surgery.
For what?
His wrist.
So he can catch better?
That's probably one of the reasons why he can't catch. I mean,
now we got built-in excuses. Oh, his wrist was bothering him. So
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's getting surgery.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying for those people who are going to try to say on the team, I mean.
Right.
I don't even, fans already know. This dude has been notorious for not being able to catch the ball, right? We've heard all these different types of drills and things that he's tried to do before to get his hand-eye coordination right, and it still hasn't worked. At some point, you got to understand you are who you are, dude. Just be a great blocker. Take those flare routes and take those underneath routes and bulldoze a couple of people. We've seen the Frank Wychecks of the world make a living out of that.
And every once in a while, if you want to go deep too, you want to try it, then try it. But that shouldn't be his go-to.
Exactly. Literally, Kincaid looked like Kelsey out there yesterday. All those little dig routes that he was doing, catch the ball, go get another 2-3 yards. You see Kelsey doing that on a regular basis. I am so sick and tired of seeing Sean eye down Knox the whole way because he's so excited to try and get the ball to his buddy that he gets intercepted. It happens all the time with Knox.
You talking about Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, and that's where I was going to go to next with that interception he threw. He looked at him the whole time. He didn't even blink.
Not once.
He looked at him the whole time. And there was 2 tight ends right there.
Here you go, buddy. You ready? You ready?
Right.
Interception.
It's double coverage over here. Peppers is baiting you right there. What are you doing?
Right.
You threw it late, as always, and you threw it wrong. Diggs was open.
You know who wouldn't have allowed that?
Dable.
You know who would have gotten in his if he did?
Dable.
Right. Dayball is the one who turned Josh into the superstar. Once we understand that and accept that, we can get away from this. Sean is a great coach. There's a big difference between being a great leader of men and being a great NFL head coach. There's a big difference, okay? And people are pointing to Mike Tomlin and talking about how he won Super Bowls. He hasn't done it without Ben Roethlisberger, who is going to be a Hall of Famer. And Ben Roethlisberger hasn't done it since he didn't have some of the best receiving cores in NFL history or Jerome Bettis. And some of the greatest defensive play in NFL history. Some of the defenses that Ben Roethlisberger has been able to have on his side when he won those Super Bowls is just insane.
I got a stat for you. Everybody knows the stat, but remember a while ago, what was it? I don't even know what game it was. Everybody was up in arms. It was Sean McDermott's 100th game, 100th coach game, whatever it is. Guess what? Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick has a trophy case
for his 300
of our butts. It's you know, it's like the animals. You got the stuffed heads on the wall. Got another Bill stuffed head on the wall. 300th win against who? Us. All the times that we kicked his face in with Josh Allen, all the time. The one time when we really couldn't have had it, 300 wins. 300 wins against us. That's almost a balance of 20 years of wins. But guess what? We're going to the playoffs. We ain't going no further than that, but we went to the playoffs.
Right.
Maybe. Not this year. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's happening this year.
And if I have to watch Mike Gesicki gritty twice again, it wasn't bad enough the first. I mean, he got it better the second time.
Yeah.
But the first time was abysmal. I didn't know what it was. The second time, I was like, it's like somebody was teaching them, and they're like, oh, okay, and it's still not right, but whatever.
No, it looked like he was duck walking.
He was duck walking the first time, especially.
But yeah, like the whole Mike Tomlin point, like people are really pointing at Mike Tomlin and saying, well, he's a defensive coach, and you know, and he's been able to turn it around this season. He's also got the best, well, first, second, depending on how you like Micah Parsons, he's probably got the best defensive player in the league right now on his team in TJ Watt. Right? On top of that, the whole rest of the cast of that defense is pretty damn good. Minkah Fitzpatrick as one of your safeties, yeah, give me that. Okay? Hightower is the other pass rushing linebacker. I will take that. Okay? You still got Hayward on the defensive line. I will take that. And this man just put Levi Wallace. You mother.
I had to.
All right.
Anyway. I had to smile. I was like,
yeah, no,
you know,
I probably stepped in that one.
You did. But
yeah.
Positivity. I wanted to go positive just for a second with this team.
Really?
James Cook. Cook is
give the man his flowers. Give him every opportunity to play. Like
he's an RB1.
He's an RB1. He has.
I mean, you look at everybody talking how soft he is. This and third. How many first downs did he pull off by just squirting through, fighting for an extra yard or two, just sliding in there, taking a hit and just falling forward? I mean, it's the little things. It's the little things, and he certainly did them yesterday. The receptions, he had Bentley looking ridiculous on that one catch.
Right.
I mean, but he's settling in. You can tell he's settling into where he's supposed to be.
Right. But I think you mentioned this on Friday too. That's what happens when you're able to get in the groove of a game, right? He had rep after rep after rep after rep in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at what's happened with with this defensive line rotation and cornerback rotation. How do these guys get into the groove of the game? Like, if they're not literally standing on the sideline sweating with every single play that happens, and players are not going to do that.
You're not tired. You're not tired. Get back on the field.
Right.
Oh, wait. You didn't decide to come off the field. It wasn't your play. Who was that?
That's
that
the other part that
Rex?
pisses me off, too.
Was that Rex? He said that? Or was it, who was it that said, they asked why was somebody wasn't on the field. He said, well, it wasn't his play. It wasn't his down. It was either Rex or Chan Gailey. I can't remember which one it was.
He said it wasn't his turn.
Yeah, it wasn't his turn.
Oh, who was that?
I forget.
Was that? Oh, that might have been Chan Gailey.
It could have been. It could have been. But yeah, I told you this rotation garbage is garbage.
Yeah.
You only rotate. You rotate your running backs. Okay, fine. You want to put in a third linebacker? That's a rotation between nickel cornerback. Fine. But am I being positive still? I don't know. Let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Von Miller had a press conference. I turned it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your voice when you only have 6 snaps. I don't want to hear your voice. Why are you even talking?
Right.
You can't give me nothing at that point.
I really want my money back at this point.
And I think
you can't. And this is the other thing that kills me. You're now the defensive coordinator. You can't figure out that this amazing pass rusher who might be past his prime. We haven't seen enough of him to really know for sure yet, because the times that he has been in have been rundowns and stuff like that. Excuse me, my voice is starting to go now, but you can't figure out how to bring him in on plays that count. Bring him in on third down plays, third and long.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's the most frustrating part about it. And for Sean to just 6 plays. I mean,
Sean said, somebody asked him in his press conference, is Vine where you expect him to be? He said, you got to manage expectations. He's coming off an ACL on Thanksgiving. No crap. But guess what? Signing Von Miller hindered you from fixing other holes.
Yep.
Hindered you from addressing other needs. And guess what? Von Miller's 33 years old. Next year we have a deficit of $25 million in cap space. Only problem with that is we have, one defensive tackle signed?
I wanted to ask you that. Can we get out of Von's contract after next year?
After next year, what is this? Okay, last year, this year, yeah.
Wait, after this year or next year?
No, after next year.
So we're stuck now.
Yep.
We're stuck now with at least one more year of recruiting players that are not going to come here.
And you compound it by the way to run an organization.
Right.
You can't afford to pay them, and they don't want to be here with this culture, because this culture is toxic now. This relationship is going sour.
Yep. I think that's one of the things that, like, you wonder why Odell wants more money to come here. You wonder why who's the other guy that we were trying to get?
Hopkins.
Yeah, you wonder why Hopkins wants the money. Like, these players, if I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna put up with that, I gotta get paid. Period.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to put up with that? Not for no $3 million.
After 2025, Von Miller's cap is actually, so it's after next year. If you wanted to cut him or get rid of him, you would be eating a $15 million cap hit, which isn't the worst because we have money in 2025. But after 2025, it's a $9 million hit. So those are his void years, 2027. So it's really a 5-year deal. Yep.
Sean in the presser, post game, he said the goal is to make teams one-dimensional.
Yeah, his own. I told you guys I'm coming raw today. Unlotion, crusty, raw.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry you had a visual. Maybe I'm not. Flaky. But anyway, I mean, he's making this, one-dimensional.
Yeah.
How? You're terrible at man coverage. Your D-line is a sieve. They got eaten up yesterday. Dorian Williams, who's your third round pick, gets benched in the second quarter.
Why?
Because they ran at him the whole time. And I quote from McDermott. He said, we noticed that there were players that were given up at that position that we wanted to try to clear up. They benched him because he had 5 tackles in the first what do they say, first 2 drives. Because all they did was go to him. The same way everybody talked about Kyer. So if you talk about Kyer, you better be talking about Dorian Williams in the same vein.
Exactly.
Don't play favorites.
Exactly.
You better be talking about both those guys one and the same because it's the same thing.
You didn't pull Elam when he was getting chopped up by Ridley. Leave Dorian out there.
Leave him out there. You gotta learn.
Exactly.
Terrell Bernard, once again, the leading tackler, 11 tackles. Again.
You're supposed to be a good enough head coach to understand what it does to a player when he's not having a great game and he gets pulled.
How about this? I got an idea. How about you change your game plan when your star players are not playing? Jordan Phillips is not Ed Oliver.
They had not one A-gap blitz. Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen one A-gap blitz from this team since the beginning of the season.
Terrell Bernard.
How have we not figured out how to get Dorian Williams up the gut? How have we not figured out how to put A.J. Klein on the field? Like, even if they check to a pass play, it's not going to be something that's so extravagant that it's going to beat that blitz.
I just want people to tell me once again, like I said about this defense, are you guys happy now? Are you entertained? Are you entertained? Because it's different. They're flying around, but they ain't making no plays they weren't making last year.
Right.
They're leaving more on the field than they did last year.
100%.
And the years before. You guys talk about you want your defense to be better, but they were already, number 5, number 6?
The highest they were is 4.
4.
Yep.
You not happy with that? Was that warranting of a coach change? When you're 4th? Let's see where they are now. Just by Pro Football Focus, I'm just curious. Because this is what I had up already. We're 12th. 12th.
This is that more aggressive, better defense.
Well, wait, because Milano's not in. Trey White's not in. Ed Oliver's out. Rousseau's missed time. Von Miller. Adjust.
Right.
You want a Frazier's playbook? You should have been watching.
Yep.
Because he did what he did with lesser talent than you got.
Sure did.
He didn't handpick anybody on his team. He played with what you gave him.
Yep. That's the bottom line on that one.
And furthermore, when you have an offense with a rookie-ish OC, give him some help. Other side. You can't rely on him to do the things he does. Or you got to say, unleash the beast. Josh, do your thing. Win us a game. Because there is no way the Patriots should have won that game. The Patriots, or they were outscored by 73 points in the prior 3 games.
Not saying you have to know about this guy really at all, but is there anything that you're seeing from this defense that indicates to you that Sean is so much better of a coordinator than Eric Washington could be?
What is so special about the defense?
That's kind of my point.
I know. I'm not asking. I'm just saying, what I want people to think about. What is so special? What nuance do you love about this defense?
Right.
I can tell people to go cover 0 blitz all day long if I want to.
Right. I
can tell them to go ahead inside cover on man every day if I want to, cover 3 if I want to.
Right.
What's the difference?
What it really boils down to, and this is my theory on this whole thing, as the defensive-minded head coach, I don't think he wants to take another shot at putting another person in that position, because not only is the blowback becoming you hired Ken Dorsey, with the way the defense is performing this year, the blowback would have been, well, this defense really hasn't been any better than previous years. In fact, in some ways it's been worse, and it's because of a guy that you hired.
Interesting stat as well. Pro Football Focus. Bills pass rush last year was ranked 5th. Where do you think they are now?
Pass rush. Let me see. I'm going to guess before I look. I'm going to say 19th.
Not that bad. They're 10th.
Oh.
So they've regressed.
Okay.
But what I'm getting at is the calling card.
Yeah, but I like even with this, I'd have to see it after a whole season because we're 7 games in, and 3 of those games were against bad teams, right?
Oh, you're saying you want to see because you think it's gonna be lower?
I think it would be lower without those 3 blowouts.
Yeah. No, I thought you were saying you thought it'd be higher. No, I think I was gonna say the trajectory of this whole thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going down now. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I mean, let's look at how their tackling is. Mr. Attention to detail, Mr. What does he say? Mr. Discipline. They're tackling. They're ranked 30th out of 32 teams in tackling. 30th.
Great.
Run defense this year, they're ranked 19th. So for context, let's look at last year. And you got to remember, Milano played pretty much the whole season, didn't he?
Last year, yeah.
And Milano is one of our worst tacklers. So let's see what our numbers were last year. 29. So we're about the same in tackling. Run defense. 25th. So, I mean, my thing is
Sean McDermott is like, I am trying to put offense first. This defense ain't doing that.
Right. Like, who's the defensive coordinator?
Right. Exactly. That like the fact that you're a defensive coordinator, so this brings me back to the initial point that I made at the beginning of the show. You are supposed to be a defensive coordinator, right? How is it that I'm trying to think about how to articulate this point, and I don't want to lose it. But the thought is, how is it that you are trying to win games with a defense with these type of statistics? Like, this is what you want to be your calling card. Not only is it outdated, just the thought of winning games with defense to begin with, but you're trying to do it with this kind of defense.
We can't even win games with defense. We
right.
couldn't if we wanted to.
We won that Giants game by refs because it is widely known that they're not going to give you 2 holding calls.
I am not denying that at all.
Right. We had the zebras in the pocket that one.
We really did.
That was just smart football. Like, okay, they're not going to call holding on 2 plays. They're not going to call defensive pass interference on 2 plays in a row. They just don't do it. So if we know that, that's a Patriot-esque level of thinking on Taron Johnson's part.
Right.
Wonderful. Go ahead and knock it out and get the job done. We won because of a loophole, basically, right? But every single game that we've won against a good team has been because of our offense, has been because of Josh Allen, has been because we have just lit teams up so good that they cannot keep up with us. And for Sean McDermott to now regress and pull back Sean and revert him to his 2018 form, basically.
Yeah, it was 2019. He was about to be out of here.
Right.
He was about to be out of here. And I don't care what Bills fans say. I don't care. I remember. I was there. I heard. We need to start looking at maybe replacing him. It was on the radio. Don't act like it didn't happen. This is not Mandela effect. This really went down. I heard it with my own 2 ears, and you guys heard it too, whether you want to admit it or not. Now, I can tell you I wasn't on board with the Josh Allen pick anyway. Was I wrong? Yes, I was. And I've admitted that numerous times.
Same here.
However, you got to come to grips with the fact that everything you thought was right, everything you thought was going to work, isn't. Yep. McDermott, as a play caller, you're suffering elsewhere. You're suffering in your defense for one, but then you're suffering elsewhere. Yep. Who's in his ear telling what they see upstairs? Obviously nobody, because they're not making adjustments, and they're coming out with the same BS that they do all the other times.
I want to address something.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I apologize.
No, listen. If you got more, go ahead.
No. You said you want to address something. I said I'm sorry.
I want to.
I don't want to infighting on live.
No.
I'm joking. I know.
Well, I mean, I have to say that so that people don't actually think there's stuff going on behind the scenes.
Oh.
Right. So anyway, what I was talking about was something that I heard on the radio this morning, and my how can I put this? What's a good term? My fellow media contributor, Sal Capaccio. I'm saying his name.
Mm-hmm.
For him to say that games like this and feelings like this are part of the game, but it's an overreaction to start calling for jobs.
It depends on whose job, because there's two jobs
people are either at this point people are either calling for Dorsey's job or they're calling for Sean's job.
And that's warranted. Of course, that's what he's going to say is an overreaction. But if they said Josh Allen, if they said Steph Diggs, yeah, that's overreaction. But in your case, like you said, and those are the two names that I was thinking about.
I don't. Other than the fact that you work for the team. Let me back that up a second. Other than the fact that you work for the head coach, because everybody else on that team works for the head coach. Bottom line,
the Buffalo McDermotts.
I'll recap the main point behind that. Behind me being able to say that, Terry Pegula specifically said this is Sean's show.
I gotta check my pay stub. Do I work for Sean?
You might. You might.
That's crazy.
Okay, because Pegula could have came out and said, well, Sean and Bean, they gotta, this is their show.
Where is Bean?
Bean is a puppet.
I know, but usually the puppets dance every once in a while.
No, why? Why would he dance now? He only comes out to dance during the off season. He comes out of his hole when he's called upon. Period.
You've been summoned, sir.
That's right. Go back in your hole. Draft is done. Okay, that's where he's at. He's in his hole somewhere, lying low until it's time to start talking about draft picks, and then he can come out answering some questions. But for Sal Capaccio to come out of his hole talking about it's an overreaction, you're blinded. You're blinded. If you're not blinded by your job, then you're blinded by your fandom. Because what we're looking at and what I just gave you in terms of statistics, looking at how both coaches in Terry Pegula's tenure that have gone 15 and 17 were fired within 2 years. And Sean McDermott prolongs his life by drafting this unicorn quarterback, but also at the same time just happens to find an offensive coordinator that is good enough to turn him into a superstar.
Yeah.
That's really where Sean got it right. And the issue that I'm having with Sean now is that Sean has been too arrogant to admit that he got it right by hiring the offensive coordinator. And now on top of that, to compound the issue, he's unwilling to admit that he got it wrong by letting him walk out the building.
And I posted the video of their interaction after the game.
Yeah.
And
says a lot.
They did. One of my boys, he responded and he said, "Would you be buddy if somebody curb stomped you?" We won by 5 points. And you see coaches all the time. They always talk. And if you're seeing somebody that used to employ or somebody that used to employ you, you're gonna have some kind of wording. You're gonna have some kind of words exchanged.
Right.
Nothing. Sean didn't even look at him, and Dable didn't want none of it either.
Yeah, I've never seen that from Sean.
No, he didn't want.
Sean just he as soon as his hand touched the other dude's hand,
he was gone.
Turned.
And I'm looking to see what was spliced. I'm looking to see if it was created. I'm looking to see if this was photoshopped. I'm looking to see what is it. No, this is the real deal. This really happened. This took place, and it was. I copied it from another known member of the media, so it's not something I found on Joe's Chuck wagon.
Right.
It's really something that's out there.
But when you watch the video too, though, it's usually the person that lost the game that wants to come up and shake and hurry up and turn away and run away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the body language, I've said this before, I'm a big person on body language, right? The way that Sean could not look Dayball in the eye, regardless of anything else, you're supposed to be this good cultural leader of men. You trying to set the example. You want the tenured guys who have played all the games and have the experience. You can't you can't balls up and go shake the man's hand, look in his eyes, and say good game.
Nope.
You got to go tap his fingers and run away because you should have lost that game. That's really what the body language says.
Give him some dap.
You technically lost that game.
Mm-hmm. Even though you lost, even though you won, you still lost.
Exactly. And that's why Dayball was walking over there and was like chest up, out, like, yeah, I'll shake your hand, I'll tap you on the back. All right, fine. You want to act like a little B? Fine, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are people not seeing these things and making these things into what they should be, which are indicators of a coach that is talking out of both sides of his neck?
Yeah, a family. We're all one until we're not.
Right. We all won until you start messing up on the field. And then I'm not going to pull the tenured guys that don't make tackles. I'm not going to pull Milano because he's been here too long and I drafted him and he makes plays. But I'm going to go ahead and pull Dorian Williams off the field because he don't need to get experience until he's been in 25 million practices first.
Yeah, Khair is getting special team reps. I don't know if you noticed that. He was in – yeah, he's playing special teams. I don't know how many. I'm looking – actually, I was fumbling to try to find how many snaps he actually got. But I know I saw him out there on one of the returns.
The last first-round pick that I heard of that was getting special teams reps on a regular basis was Cordarrelle Patterson. He didn't start getting those reps until it was clear that he was not a number one receiver.
Right.
He went to Atlanta and became a monster running back for a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been at a few other teams who have found ways to use his skill set to benefit the team. Right? So what does that say? It says if you are a coach who is able to get the best out of the talent that you have, you can use pretty much anybody. Right? Let's really look at what Dayball had here with the Bills wide receivers. He didn't have any speed guys. None.
No.
He had Davis, Beasley, and Diggs. He destroyed the league with probably the slowest receiving core in the entire league.
One of them.
And no tight end.
No.
And let's be real, the only reason Dawson Knox got paid was because they focused so hard on getting him touchdowns. He ended up with 9 touchdowns and 800 receiving yards or something like that and got his $40 million contract off of 1 year of production. That's the other part that kills me. Like, we're paying guys who don't have a prolonged period of continued high production, but we expect that much at least from our draft picks.
Yep.
I have no problem giving you the millions of dollars because I drafted you. What? What happened to the standard?
There isn't one.
What happened to the culture?
There isn't one.
Right.
But until guys on the team realize there isn't a standard or culture, we're gonna have a problem. We have a big problem.
I think Josh is just about there, man. I was wondering the whole entire season, like every time they show Josh on the sideline, he looked like he just don't care.
I was gonna say that, that was one of my lead ups because I actually have in my notes when we went down 10-0, I knew we lost. And if you look at the body language, you wouldn't know which one was the high powered quarterback that can do no wrong and which one's a scrub.
Yep.
Because Josh looked like a scrub yesterday.
Sure did.
Sitting by himself on the bench with his helmet on. Mac Jones got fire in his heart. He's yelling. He's screaming. He's coming off the field. He's rallying his men. He's going crazy. He almost got it on the gritty. I'm glad he didn't, because then he would really been a Mike Jones. That would have been his name for sure now. But my point is, I don't know. See, this tells me right here, Josh isn't the guy that we need. He's
Josh
not the guy
isn't
we
the
need.
guy?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa, you saying we need to move off of Josh?
I'm not saying we need to move off him, but can we kill all this? He's not a leader. He's not gonna rally the troops. He's not gonna voice anything. Because if he doesn't like the offense should be changed. If he don't like something, you said he calls plays, call your own plays. He can't get the plays in any way. The plays are coming in super late.
No,
you notice how late they came in?
That's not how it's done.
And you got to see that's the problem. That's the problem. Because Diggs, that attitude in Josh would have elicited change. Josh is status quo. He might be sitting over there pouting and complaining and angry, but he ain't going to do nothing about it.
The reason Travis Kelce could say what he said to Mahomes in the 13 seconds game, hey, I know what was called, but I'm going to run this. And just if I'm open, just get it to me. The reason that can happen like that is because their head coach allows it. Okay? My point in saying that is Sean McDermott, we've pointed out, we've proven, we've given evidence, he's a micromanager.
Okay, so stop with the coach speak. Just cut it out. Because this is my grievance.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm talking about everybody. Stop with the I almost cursed. Stop with the coach speak.
Sorry,
because now what you saying that compounded what I already knew. That's why when you said it, I was like, I didn't make a face because I'm like, you just confirmed what I already knew. Watching him on that field, I was ready to go sock him out.
Josh?
I'm ready to go sock Josh out.
For not bucking the system?
For what at the time I didn't know if that was it for sure or what. But right now I'm like, yo, stop endorsing people that are not helping you be the best you.
Yeah.
That's what's pissing me off.
Yeah. That's what you mean by the coach speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
And that's what's pissing me off about this whole thing. Like, now that you confirmed it, and if you guys don't believe his sources, I don't really care. Because now I'm pissed. I'm mad now. Because our quarterback, as long as our head coach, who's going to be here because the owner said so, you ain't winning no Super Bowl. You're not winning no bowl. It don't matter what you get. Go ahead and get Devontae Adams. Go ahead and get Derrick Henry. Go ahead and get freaking coach, whoever.
It's not going to happen.
It ain't going to happen. Until people start see Stephon Diggs need to let Josh spend the night at his house.
Well, I think so. This all makes sense now. Why Diggs had the issues that he had in the beginning of the season, and why it seems like there's a little bit of division between him and Diggs. Because when you look at some of the things that Josh has said about, well, indirectly, and I'll get you, I'll get you a direct quote. When you look at some of the things that Josh has said about this offense, excuse me, it's been said in coach speak technically, but it's been, let me see if I can find it here. So Josh said he thinks we're better when he gets to spread the ball around,
which would be true.
That's coach speak for
this ain't working.
I don't want to just have to throw it to Diggs all game long because they are triple teaming this dude. And if he's my first read on every single play, guess what? I'm relegating the next second or two to trying to find a second or third option because they're going to take away option number one.
Always.
So
yesterday.
Right. So if I'm a quarterback and I have an issue with the offense that my number one wide receiver loves because he's getting the ball all the time, but we're not winning no games, that's going to create some division because let's be honest. Josh has pride too. Josh wants to be the guy too. He's on the cover of Madden. He don't like looking like this. Mm-hmm. That's why he's on the sideline looking like he looks, because he knows what he used to be. He knows what this offense used to be. And Diggs is making his money. Diggs is getting paid and all that kind of stuff is happening. But the bottom line of it is Josh wants to he wants to win, but he doesn't want to just win. He wants to be great. He wants to make the Hall of Fame. He wants to make Pro Bowls. He wants to make the Super Bowl. He wants to do all of that stuff. And if he's not allowed to play his game, he's ineffective. We're seeing that now.
Yeah, so I mean that's where my issues with him are. And I'm gonna always have issues with him as long as you put some hair in your freaking chest, man. I mean, come on. Rabble rouse.
Yeah.
You're a $258 million man. They can't do nothing with you if they wanted to. You are the franchise.
I apologize if this triggers some people. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but if you come from if you're in a home where there's domestic abuse, or you're in a home, well, yeah, let's just stay there. The statistics say in most cases it's not reported. In very few cases, it gets reported. Mm-hmm. And in the cases that it does get reported, very few times is there prosecution. Mm-hmm. Right? What do I mean by this? Josh has been in instances with domestic abuse, there's a conditioning that happens. There's a mental conditioning that takes place where it's established the person doing the abuse is the authoritarian. There is no other option. There is no way out. All of that stuff. Technically, it gets programmed into the abusee's brain. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to say that Sean is being abusive or anything like that. I'm just trying to talk about the mental programming that takes place in an instance like that. Forgive me for not having a better example. I apologize. But in this case, when you're talking about a culture that was established at One Bills Drive since 2017, it has been drilled into these players' brains that it is going to happen the way Sean wants it to happen, or it's not going to happen at all. And when a head coach like that is able to run a program like that and has total autonomy over a program like that and has the support of the owner over a program like that and has the relationship that he has with the owner, like, people don't know this. The owner and Sean McDermott have I'll just say they have the same beliefs, right? And because of their connection over this one particular belief system, there is it's difficult to see that relationship ending unless it is just so obviously bad that it cannot be saved. Like if it's just 1 in 15 bad, and people are starting to speak out about the team and stuff like that. That's part of the reason why I was saying, you know, I encourage Bills fans and Bills supporters and people, like the same way that you're encouraging the players to speak out. They're in a position where they really can't right now because this is still their job. But right, we can for them.
It's one person in particular I'm talking to.
Yeah, but again, I'm saying, like, even if you're the quarterback, they were ready to. You saw this as I'm saying from Josh Allen's perspective. You saw this. They were ready to run your wide receiver one out the door. Mm-hmm. Like Sean almost made that happen. Mm-hmm. Right, and then somehow, behind the scenes, somebody got into Sean's ear and told him, "You better take a step back." Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Sean tried to squash it after that. But if they almost ran your wide receiver one out the door, you start to realize, okay, well, is anybody safe? Like, this is the guy that makes the offense go. And once I got the playbook and I started to realize they trying to get the ball to Diggs on every play, and they almost ran him out of town, well, who's safe? So if I'm Josh and I'm looking at that, like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not speaking up to nobody. I don't have no power.
Why not? Because you're gonna run them out of here, right?
The guy who is supposed to be the main focus of the Bills' offense this season almost got ran out the door, and you think you not gonna get ran out the door?
Why would Josh care? That's my point. Why would he care?
What do you mean? Why would he not care?
There's how many other teams in the league that would love to have Josh Allen right now? He would be a starter. He could probably have his way. He could go to any team he wanted.
Yeah, but context matters. Matters.
And I still blame him. Because, they that whole Dorsey deal. No, I mean, you endorsed it. Now you live in it. You endorsed it. You had a voice. Yeah. And you decided you want to do continuity, which is not continuity.
I don't know. I don't want to say specifically that Josh has no power. I'm with you. I think at some point Josh is probably the only person that if he did decide to stand up might get away with it.
There it is. There it is. Everybody else, you're not safe.
Right.
But at $258 million,
Right.
Josh could cripple this team if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
So if McDermott is that cocky, watch what happens to you.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you, a whole hell of a lot more teams want Josh than they want you.
So the rest of every episode that we create, at the end, we are going to implore Josh Allen to stand up for the rest of Bills Nation.
We can get fired too. I got to go check my pay stub.
Speak against Sean McDermott. Yeah, we do need to check your pay stub.
Yeah, because it might be on there.
But
a lot of PTO
man,
coming.
You know, I truly think, you know, at this point in time, it hasn't yet reached a boiling point. But man,
Josh Allen's press conference was 1 minute and 54 seconds. 1 minute and 54 seconds.
Did he say anything?
He called out the fans.
He called out the fans.
Yeah, he called out
the Patriots fans.
No, he called out Bills fans. He got kind of snippy.
What did he say?
I don't have the direct quote, but he mentioned something about there's a lot of all pro play callers in the stands out there. There's a lot. Yeah, he got snippy in his little press conference. That's why I don't feel bad for him in any way, shape, or form. Do your job. Because you had a hand in this.
That's a little harsh.
I don't care. You had a hand in this.
That's a little harsh. I get what you're saying, but as a player in this system, you can only do with what's given to you.
Yeah, but he's a 5th grader beating up on a whole bunch of 1st graders. Go pick on an 8th grader. You don't take out your frustration on fans. Take out your frustration and your grievances on who you got grievances with.
I'm not trying to defend him on that. I'm more so trying to defend him against your point of, you know, the onus being on him for how bad he's playing.
Oh no, I didn't make that point. I was just saying, you know, you're deflecting. Nobody cared. Nobody asked you, what do you think about anybody's play calling? Nobody asked you. All they asked you was, what do you think about the perception of the team is? What do you think about and that's when he said, there's a whole bunch of all-pro play callers out there in the stands. That was not warranted. You angry? Go take it up with who you mad at. If it's you, go look in the mirror.
Okay.
Fix yourself because you ain't fixing this team right now.
What does that tell you though? If he gets upset and the people that supposedly love him the most are the people that he lashes out at, what does that tell you? That tells you that he doesn't feel powerful enough that he can lash out at the people that that are actually making the decisions. Mm-hmm. That tells you right then and there that he feels powerless to do anything about his situation right now. If he's lashing out at the very people that are supposed to be loving him and that the people that probably put him on the Madden cover to begin with, that should tell you clear cut right then and there he does not feel like he has enough of a say to make a difference in that room, in that locker room.
Yeah, you see what I said here. I'm not going to read it. Well, basically, this one I said, was Josh getting spicy for the fans? Is he salty because the offense is at best bland? I don't need him launching stuff all over the field like he did. But I don't care. You're not Tyler Bagent. You're not freaking Baker Mayfield. I don't care what they tell.
What do you mean by those comparisons?
When I was getting to that, but what I'm saying is, you have the power to check. You have the power to check. Now, if you want to go to Steph Diggs all the time, if you think that's going to work, do your thing. If you want to run this offense, do your thing. But every star quarterback has been cocky. Every star quarterback has an ego. We got a Boy Scout. You going to grow your hair out? You want to grow your little beard out? You're still the same kid behind all that. You ought to be a man. This is your team. Remember I said that a while ago when they got rid of Dayball? I said, this is your team now. We didn't have the show. I said it to you. I said,
yeah.
When are you going to take control?
But doesn't it make sense now why they drafted him? Like, think about everybody else who was available at that time. Sam Darnold. Who else? Josh
Rosen, Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph. But
Mason Rudolph wasn't a first-round quarterback. But
he was like,
he
was.
When you're looking at Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen. I think those were the only two quarterbacks other than Josh Allen that were left.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Excuse me.
You gonna live?
I'm trying.
Okay. All right.
When you look at the quarterbacks that were left, Lamar Jackson big winner in college. He wasn't tolerating this mess from Sean McDermott.
Yeah, look at what he did over in Baltimore. He forced their hand.
Exactly, right? That's what we want Josh to do, right? Okay. Another case in point.
I think he about to try to set me up. Okay, go ahead.
Josh Rosen.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Rosen. Definitely the type of dude that would have spoke up.
Yeah, he told him that, and that makes perfect sense why he didn't do it. He said that.
Exactly. Now you got little old Josh from little old Fireball that did nothing in college. Come here, buddy. Come on. No,
Right.
it's okay. You're good. You're good. No, yeah, it's all right. We're going to make you a good quarterback. You ready? I got a coordinator for you. He's going to do everything that it takes to make you great, and you're going to be a good little boy, okay? You're going to say what we tell you to say. You're going to throw what we tell you to throw, and everything's going to be just fine. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to be great. It's conditioning. It's micromanagement at a masterful level, because you're now looking psychologically for people that you can manipulate in the way that he's manipulating these players. He's got a bunch of small school, small-minded players who are just thankful to have a job in the NFL in the first place, and so they're willing to take the ish that Sean is dealing out in terms of the way that he runs this franchise and the way that he puts players in positions not to be great and to succeed and to make names for themselves and get paid, but to be, you know, his chess pieces to move around as he sees fit. And maybe if you're good enough and you kiss the ring enough, you'll be able to get on the field and do something.
You know what I want to see? While you were talking, I saw it in my head. It's never going to happen. But I want to see one of those plays where Josh Allen takes a snap. The offensive line sucks as usual, so everybody's on Josh Allen's butt. He spins out of a tackle. He scrambles it outside. Just launches a dart. Dawson Knox. I don't even care who it is. Not Steph Diggs. And then walks over to the sidelines and says, bench me. It looks right at McDermott and says, bench me, and walks and sits down. I got goosebumps.
Now that you mention it.
I got goosebumps.
You got goosebumps?
Oh, chills up my spine. Thinking about that?
I'm not going to ask you where you got goosebumps.
You probably don't want to know.
Yeah. So now that you say that, what I think would be really great is if Josh pulled a longest yard moment where Adam Sandler goes to the guys, he goes, listen, just hike the ball and just roll with it. And Adam Sandler goes up, hikes the ball, and throws it right at the ref's nuts.
Yeah.
I just want to see Josh hike the ball and just throw it right at Sean's face. Just go to throw a wide receiver screen and just throw it right at Sean's face.
I mean,
and then go back and call his own play.
Call your own play.
Just take
Don't
the
worry
mic
about
out
what
of
he says.
Yeah, just call your own
Dorsey,
play.
I want to see Dorsey in the thing looking like.
right. Yes.
I want to see him looking like, I don't have this play.
Yes. Why are we in 5 wide? We don't have 5
We don't
wide.
have 5 receivers. Why is Reggie Gilliam out wide?
We have 5 receivers.
Why is Gilliam out there in the slot? What's going on?
Oh my God. Yo, the mismanagement of assets. We have more receivers on this team than we've ever had in the entire existence of Sean McDermott in Buffalo, and we are running 12 personnel.
I just was going to
Why
say
the F would you do something like that? Why do you need the roster spots? You're only using 2 at a time. For what? Justin Shorter is not going to survive on a practice squad, but you sure as heck drafted him in the 4th round just in case Gabe Davis doesn't stay. But to try and make sure Gabe Davis stays, you give him the captain's seat. And you give him at least 5 targets a game, in which he's only catching 1 on average.
How many catches does he have this year? 20? Is it 22?
It's some low number that's not befitting of a number 2 receiver.
Well, now that you said everything you said about Diggs, is it even fair to say he's not getting? It's not his fault, rather.
Who? Gabe Davis?
Is it fair to say that if Diggs wants the ball every play?
No, it's not.
I'm being facetious, but
listen. Listen. While I am saying it's not Gabe Davis's fault, here we go. Gabe Davis is no longer our number 13. I just threw an X through his name. He is no longer on the list of Buffalo Bills in my mind. He's gone. He needs to be gone. I just drew an X through his name. The only and if I had a permanent marker, I would have did it much larger than that. The only 13 that exists in my heart is Stevie Johnson, and it's gonna stay that way for the rest of the time until somebody else does it better.
Stevie J.
That's it. Matter of fact, it's out my face.
Get this out of my face, man. Get out of here with this. Man,
it drives me nuts. Like,
Let's see.
Not only do you realize that this guy can't do the job you're asking him to do, but
family.
Whoa.
Yo, Stevie Johnson is the only 13.
Oh yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin, Victor Bolden, Kalen Clay, Desmond Lewis, Brian McClure, and Chuck Nelson are the only other Bills to wear number 13.
He's the only 13 that matters, bro. The only 13 that matters.
That's a sorry number.
7th round draft pick too.
That's a sorry number.
I need you to hold your tongue.
No, I mean, it's not a sorry number. Like I'm saying it for Bills. What I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like 13 in general is supposed to be an unlucky number. That's why I enjoyed that he wore it so much. But for Stevie to show his behind the way he did, like not only was he cocky, but he could back it up.
And that's Josh. Well, that's not Josh, but that's the Josh I want.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to be a renegade. But you're 258 man. This is you're on Madden, like you said. This is your product. They go as you go.
Right.
And if the guys looking up to you are watching you be a lapdog to somebody else who's not even on the field, was never anywhere near as good as you, they can't believe in you.
We are essentially and effectively defying all of the locker room laws of every NFL team. We are asking for a mutiny at this point.
I think you have to.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Because before you said that, I literally came here thinking you were going to tell me that they were losing the locker room. I was like, I know. I literally thought that's what you were going to say because
we hope that's what's happening.
I mean, what they showed? They showed Diggs, Davis, and Allen talking on the sideline. Diggs was rallying the troops. Allen had his helmet on, and Davis was like, whatever, you know how Gabe is, but. I mean, I just don't see it. You just got the offensive line is trash. Spencer Brown is a problem. Where's Affetti? Where's Vandermark? Please put one of them in.
Right.
Mitch Morris was horrible.
We got to save them in case Brown gets hurt. We can't just pull Brown.
Right. Can't pull him because he's not Dorian Williams.
We don't want to hurt his confidence.
He's past 2 years.
Right. We don't want to hurt his confidence.
Right.
But we can pull the first round pick. And we got to save the feelings of the 4th round.
Not even pull the first rounder. Don't even give him a jersey. Don't even give him a jersey.
Right. This is the consistency that we're talking about. This is the culture that we're talking about. This is the how did he put it? This is the complementary football that we're talking about. This is what it looks like.
I'm with Mike Schill. I want to put him on the slingshot and shoot that thing to the sun. I think
he was talking about complimentary football, the term.
Yeah.
But you know, if you want to put Sean on a slingshot and shoot him.
He could go too.
Yeah.
He might need to go after it and fetch it, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, you talking about Jordan Phillips said, what do you say? We got to play up. We can't play up or down to our competition.
Yeah.
Dude, you were trash yesterday.
They've done that. Like, and this is tough because the three, I'll call them the 3 perfect games that we had this season, the 3 blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those games were against quarterbacks that, let's be honest, what happened to them should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not a great quarterback. He was the benefactor of great teams.
Great coaching.
And great coaching, 100%. And Tua and that offense, paper tigers. If they play a real team like they played the Eagles, they lost. I'm sorry.
You're going to fold up.
Like, you can complain about, flags not being thrown, all that, whatever. Bottom line is, every time that they play a decent defense, they fold. So, Miami's not even that great of a team.
Nope.
And if I'm looking at that, there's no way you can't draw the conclusion of we blew out 3 below average quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I've already given you the stat of Sean McDermott against below average quarterbacks.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, going against good quarterbacks. Like, I mean, not saying that Mac Jones is a good quarterback, but Bill Belichick is still a hell of a coach.
Right.
Yesterday wasn't even the Patriots playing great and the Bills not playing great. Yesterday was Sean McDermott realizing that his offense was not going to function in that game the way he thought it would, and then tightening up and trying to play it safe the whole rest of the way. You score a touchdown the first time. The first touchdown they scored, you should have gone for 2. You should have gone for 2. You knew you were going to need an extra four points to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that, which is why you went for 2 on the second one, because you wanted to be up by at least a field goal.
Right.
Right? But if you go for 2, if you're really looking at the analytics, if you go for 2 on both touchdowns, you're only down by 3 points. You can kick a field goal to tie it. You had 18 seconds left in the game with 1 timeout. Your 2-minute drill cuts right through that defense. It did twice on both touchdowns. These are coaching decisions that people are not paying attention to. Yep. You would have only needed a field goal at the end of that. Now, everybody's going to point to what I'm saying and say, well, hindsight is 2020. No, I knew that I was saying this during the game. You need to go for 2 on both of them. Just in case they go down and score again.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was watching the game, like I said before, even when they went ahead, my man said, he texted me, I told you don't worry. I said, dude, they ain't got the pepper.
Right.
They ain't got the pepper.
Not on defense.
No. And while you were, I don't know if you were wondering what I was doing, but while you were talking, what I did was I made a slicer so I could see. Mac Jones went for, 83% yesterday?
Did he?
Yeah, 83%. On the season, he's at 62% for completions. 62.4%, okay? Now, let me add in one more slicer if I'm allowed.
No.
I'm allowed.
Right. What am I going to say? No.
I was being nice, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I love it.
So if you take out the 272, sorry.
This is Josh's numbers you're talking about?
No, this is Mac.
Okay.
So if you take out the 272,
yep,
he's averaging 178 yards. Mac Jones was an afterthought. He was on his way out. People were talking about Malik Cunningham coming into the game. In the game, they say he's on a short leash. You just gave him an extra life. As Kim would say, he got a 1-up.
Yo, Kevin Wiles on First Things First. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Funny dude. He says crazy things from time to time, but he has this this upset alert segment that he does where he tries to pick like the biggest upset of the weekend, or he picks like the game that he thinks will be upset. The man has been wrong so many times that they got rid of the segment, and he just brought it back. And you know the game he picked?
Of course, the Bills game.
The Bills game. Mm-hmm. Now he happens to be a Patriots fan, but he doesn't he doesn't go homer when it comes to those picks.
I mean, but that's lofty though. That's real lofty.
That's very lofty. But guess what? The man is gonna be chest high. And I got to go back and watch it. I didn't get a chance to see it today, but he gonna be holding his chin high today.
Why shouldn't he?
Like, the man is known. The man lost the segment for being wrong about all these upsets. Brings the segment back. Picks one upset. It's the Bills. He's right. Like, I don't know how many more ways we can say how ridiculous this loss is for the Buffalo Bills as a franchise, but
Mac Jones.
Okay, I'm sorry. We are right now as a franchise and as a supporter base. We're combating nationally with the perception that we're incompetent, and then I just had a conversation with one of my coworkers today, and she openly takes every opportunity that she gets to root for anybody else who's playing the Bills, because of the fact that the Bills have been consistent and constant losers through the entirety of her knowledge of the team. Right. There's so many people in the city that are like that, though. She's not the first person I've ever heard say that.
No, yeah.
Right? So that is the weight that Sean should have been aware of coming into this situation. That is the weight that Terry Pegula should have been aware of coming into this situation. Not, we got to protect tailgating. Not we got to make sure that we pay attention to the old ways and make sure that, every coach we hire, every player we hire is high motor and blue collar and hardworking and tough. When the heck is that ever going to matter in a Super Bowl? When are they going to sit there and talk about, man, this team made it this far with their high motors and their blue collar attitude? No. They made it here because they got a superstar receiver or a stud quarterback or the defense is lights out.
Yep.
Like, when people were playing against the Steelers, when the Steelers had the mean defense, they had Jerome Bettis, they had Ben Roethlisberger. Were people talking about how blue collar that team was? No.
They named the Steelers, and you weren't talking about it. Steel.
Exactly.
You don't
care about that.
Ain't no more nuts and bolts than that.
It was Big Ben. It was the bus. And then it was the steel curtain.
Mm-hmm.
The new steel curtain. It was Palomalu. It was Joey Porter. It was
Ike Taylor or whatever.
Yeah, it was Ike Taylor. It was who else? Who's the other dude that was looked like a bouncer?
Harrison.
Yeah,
he is a bouncer.
Right, it was Harrison. Like, these are the guys that they had on the team. It wasn't none of those dudes would tell you they were blue collar. They were dogs. They got after it. They punched you in the mouth every chance that they got. Like, this Bills team, who are we punching in the mouth?
You ain't asking me that.
The only guy running into listen, let me tell you something. People criticize him for it, but the only guy that was running into a fight was Josh.
Yep.
The only guy.
Yep. Well, Spencer, but he got served up.
You 6'8", 300-something pounds. How you get flipped twice?
It was 3 of them won him though. It was 3-on-1.
I don't care.
I mean, that's eyes. Where Dawkins at? Dawkins the reason why it was started. Dawkins was the reason it started. He didn't have his boys back. Is Dawkins a captain?
So you could jump at 20-year-old dudes and younger dudes, but you ain't gonna fight your own fight. You gonna let your boy get flipped?
Exactly. That's my point. This team is not a team.
You could jump at fans. You could jump at people when they say you better win this game.
And what happened? They lost.
Right.
Maybe not that game, but they lost.
Like,
that's why I say you're
a team full of nonsense.
That's why I say you're a 5th grader. You're fighting 1st graders. That's all they do. They fighting 1st graders. They ain't fighting no 8th graders. What happened to the swarm of bees approach? Remember that? Fight when you fight us all.
Right.
Where's that? This team's soft.
Right.
They're playing a soft schedule, and they're playing soft themselves. And who would I point the finger at? Mr. McDermott, the figurehead.
Yep.
And nobody sees a problem with this.
Schedule ain't easy no more. I mean,
dude, we lost to the Jets. We lost to the freaking Patriots. Never mind the Jaguars. We lost to the Jets and Patriots. There's no you don't come back from that. You got beat by 2 afterthoughts. And I'm not even trying to insult Mac Jones and Zach Wilson. But that's what they are. Zach Wilson got benched twice for Mike White. He got benched. He got benched when they brought in Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But if Zach Wilson was worth a can of salt, they would not have got Aaron Rodgers. He was a 1st-round draft pick. They gave up on him, but he looked good against us. Yep. McCorkle Jones. Yes. I had to do it for you.
Yes.
McCorkle Jones was an afterthought. They had Malik Willis. I don't even know where he got drafted. They already said he's got a short leash. He's coming in.
Oh, Malik Cunningham?
Yeah, Malik Cunningham, not Willis. I'm sorry. But not only did he have a life-sustaining game, he had the best game of his season.
Right.
Probably the best game of his career.
By far.
83% completions.
Yep.
Against a good defense.
Yep.
Against a good defense, is good at what? They're not good at tackling. I mean, how many sacks do they have? Let me look that up because I don't even know where they rank in sacks in the league.
The Bills?
Yeah. So
it was good.
It was good.
The numbers will probably be still, top half of the league, but again, I attribute that to those 3 blowout games.
Yeah. I mean, they had 9 sacks against Washington, so I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yo,
I'm frustrated.
Yo, I've never seen that.
I'm frustrated.
You too frustrated to look up stats.
I can't even figure it out. I'm sitting here like
this mouse cursor is moving around, clicking on
all
random
over the
stuff.
place. I can't figure it out. I don't even know what resource to use to figure this out now.
I love it
because this. I'm so frustrated with the potential that should be. I'm frustrated with the team that we don't have. I'm frustrated with them masquerading as a football club. I'm frustrated with the fact that people support this.
Right.
Like, yeah, I support them because they're my Bills. But I don't support it. If I was in another market, I would not be a Bills fan.
Yep.
Not with this.
This is solely the result. And again, I'm gonna keep bringing it back to us, because at some point we have to hold ourselves responsible in order to hold the team responsible and accountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the team was up for sale, we spoke against Trump. We spoke against Bono. We spoke against all these people that we didn't want to buy the team.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Pegula swoops in the back door and buys the Sabres. All of a sudden, he just bought the Sabres.
Right.
Somebody nudge him and see if he wants to buy the Bills. Why?
Right.
If he wanted to buy the Bills, he would have came in and bought them first. Who cares if he wants to buy the Bills? Why do you want the same guy owning both teams? Why did you need that to happen? Because he had the money? Yeah. Like, you're asking someone who came into the city not caring about the football team to buy the football team in order to do what? To win?
And run the football team. It's
right.
okay to buy it, but it's not okay to run it when you don't know anything about it.
Right. And since 2014, 15-17, 15-17, fired. Sean McDermott, first 2 years, 15-17. Then, Brian Daboll's in the house. Now things are different. Now we're winning. Now we're this. Now we're that. Like, this wasn't something that was sustainable from the get-go. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
When you allow a guy who never cared about your team to begin with to buy your team,
right,
and run it, and even if he's not directly running it, people are still reporting to him what's going on with the team. They have to.
And I had a number. They're second in sacks. But they are 22nd in the league in blitz percentage. Like you said.
So that means they're not blitzing as much, or what?
They're really not blitzing that often at all.
Right.
Minnesota's at 58% blitzing. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, but those numbers have to be from those 3 blowouts. They do, because
you figured we had 9 against Washington. We had like 6 against somebody, and so that's what
against the Raiders.
Yeah, it's 15 right there. So
yeah.
I mean, it's just come on.
Right.
And I want to go back, because I was very emotional when I said I would still be a Bills fan. Of course I would, because I can't play. Well, I didn't buy Madden this year. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because everybody tells me it's the same Madden as last year. So I just queued up 23.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah, I just queued up 23. I mean, I don't have Deontay Hardy, but whatever.
I stopped buying them in 22. That was the last one I bought. The one with Mahomes and Brady on the cover.
Okay. Yeah. See, I got 23 for whatever reason, but I always get it when it's on sale, like the Black Friday sale. They knock it down 70%.
I don't even know if I could do it. Like, and I think that I decided this after 22, because even if you buy it when it's on sale and it's like $20-something, like in my mind, like if it's the same game, it's not even worth $20. It's just not when I can go to GameStop and buy it used for $1.
Yeah, you're paying for a roster upgrade.
Right.
That's what you were paying for.
Right. That's those are free.
Yeah.
So like I either choose to go to GameStop and buy it for $5, or wait, but it's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that fans have been leveraged by. I'm just gonna say it. The way that fans have been leveraged by Terry Pegula, whether it's advertently or inadvertently, on purpose or not on purpose. It's happened. And some responsibility needs to be taken, some onus needs to be taken, some accountability needs to be taken, and some accounting needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This thing it all needs to be leveled out. It all needs to be scrapped and rebuilt, because the way this team is built right now, our defensive-minded head coach is trying to take a team that is supposed to be a passing team and turn them into a strong run and heavy defense team. And this team is not built that way. And furthermore, what that tells me is there's little to no awareness of self. There's little to no, like, what I mean by that is, in Josh's mind, he can still take what he has and turn it into something else. He thinks he's that good. He thinks he's good enough to take a pass defense and turn it into a strong run defense. Just out the blue. Just like that. Mm-hmm. Just by thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I think I could do it. All right, I'm going to do it. Okay. So when it doesn't happen, well, it's communication, and, you know, we just got to we got to, like, it's funny. When you listen to his post-game press conferences, he takes things that are much bigger and tries to break them down into concepts that are tangible, like communication, yep. like practice and working harder and stuff. Like he tries to take things that are much bigger problems and break them down to little bite-sized things that are much more tangible and more easily stomached. And it's starting to get sickening, because we have to now take these issues that we see on the field that are recurring issues and present them to the head coach and be told, well, we'll get through it. Like, I'm sorry. Eventually, you get tired of getting slapped in the face. Like, I know I'm supposed to turn the other cheek, but I'm both my cheeks red now. Mm-hmm. Like, you want my butt cheeks?
Right.
Like, how many more cheeks you need until you get it right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a serious problem, and I don't want to hear anything about, you know, complimentary football or you know, what we got to work on. Like, who are you firing?
Well, there's only one person he can fire. Well, no, because that water boy looks real suspect. He ain't squirting the right way these days.
Yeah, maybe it is his fault why Josh ain't
his
playing
arc
so
is
well.
off. That's why people catching cramps and all that. But you know, the thing is, you employed this sorriness. This was your doing. This is your scouting. This defensive line was your baby. This offensive line, oh, Mitch Morris, I'm talking to you. You were trash yesterday. I can tell if it was 79 or 60. Trash. I mean, how many times have I called this guy out? How many times? He said in his press conference, it's on me. It's on me. I got to be better. You freaking right. You got to be ready. Oh, man, I almost said the wrong word. My mouth formed the wrong. Man, I forgot where I was for a second. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, they better get better. They better get better, because you got to rock. You're gonna rock with Tim Settle. You got to rock with Jordan Phillips. You got to rock with.
No, Oliver should be back for Thursday.
Who knows? I guess.
Yeah.
But who knows what percentage he's going to be at?
Right.
I don't know what's wrong with. I mean, I know what the injury is, but I don't know the severity. I don't know many details.
Well, now Knox is having surgery and he's out the rest of the season, or what?
Yeah, I mean that, and then you got Von Miller. What is this?
Did you hear Von Miller's reason?
No.
He was saying
the Ferrari thing you talking about?
Huh?
No, go ahead.
He was saying, well, guys, I didn't get an off season. I didn't get a preseason. I just, you know, came back after 6 weeks and, you know, boom, there it was. Well, wait. Time out. So which is it? Is it you're ready to go, like it was being reported that you were saying to the team at the beginning of the season?
He said in a press conference.
And he said, yeah, you
on
said
his
it yourself.
podcast.
And you said it on the podcast. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
It's not up to me.
We heard you say it.
It's not up to me.
Right.
It's not up to me.
So now you're putting it on the team, and you come out, you look slow, You don't look like you got it all the way
look
back.
Old. Yeah, you ain't got your legs under you.
Now it's, oh, you only played 6 reps this game. What happened? When you should have been up at 35.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Easily, you should have been at 35. Mm-hmm. You only get 6. Then it's, well, guys, I didn't get an off season. What the do you mean?
Yeah.
Explain that.
I don't want him to. I mean, I know where you're going, but I don't want him to. I don't want to hear his mouth. Everything he said has been wrong. Everything he said has been butt backwards.
Last year, I compromised. I said, okay, he's here to do a job. We needed an elite pass rusher for those key moments. And this is at the beginning when we first signed him. This year, we not going to the promised land. I'm sorry. Like, you may think I'm overreacting. You may think I'm trying to throw the whole season away and it's only 7 weeks into a 17-game season. Tell me, based on everything that we've talked about this entire season, where the solution is.
We couldn't get there in 2020. That was the year we were firing all cylinders. This year, this team is a train wreck.
Right.
They're not beating up on anybody. They scored exactly the amount of points that New England's averaging against this whole season. 25 points is their average against, and that's what they scored. They're only used to scoring 14 points. You give them 29. So you did what they expected you to do. Mm-hmm. And they had to beat the expectation in order to do it, and they did it on you. The self-proclaimed, well, maybe not self-proclaimed, the nationally proclaimed number 1 team in the AFC East. Yep. We saw this with the AFC West last year. Oh, that division's going to be a beating.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was a train wreck, and we have to live it now. I don't want to hear about Madden curses. I don't want to hear about, we got to figure it out.
So over with, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about we got to
Josh
figure it out.
Hurt.
I'm tired, man. I'm so tired. I'm tired of being tired. When is it our turn? You know what? I got to watch the All-22 before I rant some more on Thursday because I know it's coming. Probably. I got more, but I just don't have any facts. I don't have any backups. I don't have any statistics or a basis for my rant. So I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay, fair enough.
So if I'm working with you tonight, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance. I'm cranky. I'm chafed.
Oh man. All right. Well, I hope you got some ointment somewhere.
I ain't got none. It's terrible.
Yeah, that is extremely terrible. Man, listen. We got the comment section. If you got more, go on the Facebook page. You can follow us on the Facebook page and comment. Anything that you want to have some dialogue about, and we'll definitely meet you up there and just kind of continue to work through this week and work through this loss and get ready to see what happens on Thursday. The Bills did have a skid before winning, the last 7 games of the season, last year?
Something like that.
So, you want to hold out hope. At the end of the day, I think no matter what happens this season, Sean McDermott needs to be fired or somebody needs to be fired. If it's Dorsey, I think Sean needs to go back to being a head coach and just hire a real offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator and just oversee everything, let people do their jobs and stop micromanaging. Yep. I think that's about the only way he can save his job right now. Otherwise, I think after this year, if the Bills don't make the playoffs or if they go out in one round again, probably going to be hell to pay for Sean McDermott going into next season. So, what do you think about that? Let us know. Comment section. You can hit us up on Facebook. You can hit Keyshawn up on Twitter. Let him know where they can hit you up on Twitter.
Where is it? What is it? K84. I don't know, man. It is what it is.
He's a little too frustrated to give you his Twitter information.
K8716 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's up there. It's been written.
It's up there.
It's been written. I'll put it in the thing.
Okay.
Did you see in the third quarter I wrote Sean McDermott's press conference speech?
No,
I put it on the page.
Yeah, I did. I
third quarter. I saw how confident I was that we were done. Even when they scored, I didn't even think about taking it down. When they took the lead, I was like, it don't matter.
Right.
Leave it up.
Right. Yeah. All right. That is it for the live episode, the post-game episode of the Post Podium Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And how you said, do the ting-a-ling?
Oh, you got to make that thing ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah.
Make that thing ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah. All right. Listen, it's been fun. And as always, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. That's just how we get down. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
And I'm Saltless Key.
Saltless Key.
Because I've had a lot of sodium here. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm just being angry because I'm saltless.
Oh,
I think.
Man. All right.
Signing off, y'all.
No doubt. Thank you for putting up with my voice today. We are out.